If you're looking for a simple process to edit YouTube videos using uncomplicated free editing software, I think you'll find this video really helpful. When I started my online retirement business, my initial plan was not to edit my videos other than perhaps clipping off the start and end using the basic editing capabilities on my iPhone. And my rationale was most of my videos are going to be like this, talking head videos. So I want them to appear natural, as though we're having a conversation. And in any conversation, ahs, long pauses are natural. So why wouldn't they appear natural in a YouTube video? Well, the reason is, in a YouTube video, there's no other person to help you plug the gaps, to remind you of what it was you was going to say. So what I thought would make my videos sound more natural just made them annoying. So I needed a simple solution, a simple process to edit a YouTube video, something that allows me to remove the ums, the ahs and the long pauses, and maybe to add things such as photographs or short video clips, or B-roll as it's commonly referred to. Things that will break up the monotony of me just talking to camera all the time. What I didn't want to do though was to spend a load of money on a complicated piece of editing software that would take me ages to learn. I didn't want another obstacle to get in the way of publishing YouTube videos. I also didn't want to outsource the editing of my videos. When I set up my retirement business, my intention was for it to be a solopreneur business. So I definitely don't want to be dependent on other people being available to do key things for me. I decided I need to get some advice. I've got a really good mate called Fran, who's got a successful YouTube channel called My Boxing Coach. He's had the channel since 2010, I think, or thereabouts. When I checked, it's got over 190,000 subscribers and he's published more than 800 videos. So I had a chat with Fran. Fran still uses iMovie. Some of the videos on his channel are really sophisticated compared to what I want to produce, these talking head style videos. So if it's good enough for Fran, it's definitely good enough for me. So decision made. I'm a Mac user. You get iMovie free with Mac, so happy days. If you're not a Mac user though, there are other alternatives that are free, whether they are browser based or you download them onto your laptop. And I think the top one at the minute is CapCut, which gets rave reviews. So the software is less important than the process that I'm going to walk through in the rest of this video. So let's switch over to my MacBook and I'll take you through my editing process. So the first step in the editing process is to get all of your video clips and photographs into iMovie. I tend to drag and drop them, but you can upload them. There's a file upload facility as well. So once I've got all of the video clips into iMovie and the still images I want to use, the next job for me is to arrange the video clips in the correct sequence on the timeline, which is this bit down here. I've already uploaded them in the correct sequence. That was the first thing I did. So I select all of the clips and then I should better drag them all on in one go, and then the correct sequence. If you didn't do that for whatever reason, you can move these around, so you can pick them up on the timeline once they're deselected. You can pick individual ones up and move them around. Okay, so now we're ready for the next step, is where we start trimming redundant footage. To make the editing process a bit easier, the first thing I do is I increase this timeline here. I it's just much easier to look through each of the videos. And as you can see, as I'm down here scrolling along, this window up here shows that section of the video. So it's very easy to spot where I want to make cuts. So I know that that hand movement there means I'm going to start filming. So I'll keep moving until I find a bit where, right, okay, let's see the nice start point. Let's take my time to get this right. So let's say there, that's good enough for this. So I use the Cmd+B shortcut on my MacBook, which separates that video into 2 clips, and then that's highlighted, so I'll just delete it. So now I've still got a little bit of that. Let's make the timeline even bigger. Let's zoom it out even more. It gets a bit easier then to spot where we want to do the cut. So let's say I want to start there. Command B, and again delete that clip. So now the start of the video is much closer to what I want. So basically I work through each of the clips, looking mainly at the beginning and end of each clip to see what redundant footage there is. So if I go here, you'll see that I finish a clip and then I get up and I go and turn the camera off. So I want to stop it where I've just finished talking. Not ideal, that look. bit of a strange ending, but you know, there's a tip. Look at the camera at the end of a clip instead of immediately getting up and going to turn the camera off. So I don't know where to stop that for now. I'll leave it there. Not ideal, but Command B again. You can see it's turned into 2 clips. I select that one and delete it. And now I've removed that section. So it's as straightforward as that. And I work through each of the clips doing that. I also, if I know there's some sections in the middle of a particular clip, I'll go there and I use the same Command B to cut out bits in the middle. So it's a pretty simple process. Final step in my editing process is to add photographs to break up any long speech that I think's a little bit boring and to support what I'm trying to say in the video, and to add transitions between video clips. Sometimes where you are moving between clips, there's a very obvious jump. So it's often a good idea to put a transition in there to soften that jump. So we'll start with the photographs first. So I know I've searched through this video clip here. I don't know, 1 minute 38. I want a photograph to support what I'm actually saying in that part of the video. So in that part of the video, I'm talking about spending hours getting lost doing YouTube research. So I want to add this photograph into that part of the video. And basically what it's going to do is, as I'm talking, it'll switch to that image and then switch back again. And my audio will continue beneath that photograph. This clip, I can change the length of it, I can make it last longer, make it shorter, play around with it however I want. And I'll go through all my video clips doing that, adding photographs where I think it adds to the video. I then go and look at the transitions between video clips. And if I think they're a bit jumpy, you know, if you look there, I'm talking, then it goes to me sat smiling at the camera. It's not the tidiest, so I'll probably add a transition there. And the way to do that is you go into this transitions tab. There's lots to choose from. I tend to stick to 1 or 2 basic ones. I quite like the cross dissolve. So again, you drag that in between the clips. If I want to lengthen the time, I double click on it. Let's make it 3 seconds, sake of argument. Let's see what happens. Then, perhaps if I play it, you might get a better understanding of what it looks like. So it's smoothed out the transition. Not saying that's perfect, but it's better than it was. So that's all I do. I work through all the clips, adding photographs, adding transitions where I think it removes messy jump cuts. And then once I've done that, once I'm happy with the video, all that's left to do then is to download it using this export file up here, and then I can upload it to YouTube. That's it. So there you have it. That's my simple YouTube video editing process. If you've been struggling editing your videos, or you've been putting it off because the whole process intimidates you, give it a go. It's very simple and straightforward. I'm sure you'll find it useful. Once you've edited your video, the next step obviously is to upload it to YouTube. I've created a video explaining my process for doing that, which should appear somewhere on screen now. If it doesn't, you'll find a link to it in the description below, together with a link to my published video guide, which covers every step in the process, from planning your video, to scripting your video, to filming your video, to editing your video, and finally to uploading your video. So download it and make the most of it. Till next time, take it easy.